When you're cruising, no matter where it is, you're in the car for hours, there's nothing better than some nice speakers, some nice tunes to dance along with, or to just match the vibe of the road trip. Guys, the 80 series GXL model have a special secret hidden behind these door cards, and there's actually a plug already there for you to install front speakers. I did this in the Black 80 series and it sounded pretty nice, just amplified that music, especially at the front of the car. So I'm just going to be showing you guys behind these door cards. There's a plug, you just wire up your new speakers, cut a hole and install them. I might even be putting a sub in the car as well, just for some extra bass, because I love a car that has some nice bass to it. Usually the doors will have this protective plastic coating on it. So you just want to try and keep this in good nick because you want to reuse it. But if you just peel this back slightly, you'll find that right there is the speaker wire. So they've put the wires there for you just in case you wanted to run the front speakers. They've even got the holes cut out inside the door frame just in case you wanted to install those speakers. So it's pretty convenient, guys. I'm just going to be cutting the door cards to match those holes and install some front speakers. So the speakers came with these two wires here with the terminals on them already. And basically what you want to do is feed them up through there. Now notice I haven't cut them too long. You cut them too long, they'll get in the way of the window track. So keep them nice and short. Also on this original plug, you've got this little plastic pop in here. And that'll just keep the wires away from that window track. So let's plug her in, mount it up and have a listen. Guys, head over to rigitupstore.com and get your Rig It Up merch. We've got these Rig It Up shirts with the Rig It Up logo. We've also got these gnarly hats, many different colors and varieties, very comfortable. The gnarly is embroidered into the hat, so it's high quality. It'll keep the sun out of your face and off your skin for the upcoming summer in Australia. We've got so much merch available. We've got hats, we've got shirts, we've got gnarly shirts, got hoodies, and we've got singlets as well. Go ahead onto rigitupstore.com and get your Rig It Up merch to support the channel. And just like that, guys, you have speakers in your front doors. Let's have a listen. So that is both front speakers done, guys. I've got the ICC pulled out already. Just to plug in the sub, you've got to pull the ICC out slightly so you can get behind it. Before I put the sub in though, guys, I just want to mention the importance of double checking the wiring, because sometimes, even though the wires are behind this door card without the speaker there, they might not continue on from here. So the plug might have the speaker wires on one side, but they will not continue through to the ICC. So just double check that first, because some 80 series models might not have it. All right, well, now that's all done, let's get on to fitting the sub. So lots of wiring involved in a sub. So you'll need a negative cable and a positive cable. This is 8 gauge. You'll need a signal wire, which doesn't have to be very big, just enough to bring the signal for when you turn the ignition on. an AV or signal cable from the ICC, and then I've just got some speaker wire there to go from the amplifier to the sub itself. Throughout my installation process, I might just stop and explain a few things here and there. So firstly, you want to run the positive wire through the grommet in the firewall. Now that I'm going to be running the positive wire down the kick panels out of sight, I'm not going to go any further. I'm going to run the other wires at the same time. Just instead of going back 3 times, I'm just going to get all the wires in one go just to save some time and effort. So wiring up the signal wire, it's got to be spliced into something that turns active when you turn accessories on with the ignition. So an easy way to do it is getting a probe light, hooking it up to a ground source, like somewhere on the body. Now your best bet is going off the cigarette lighter, because that usually comes on with the accessories. By unplugging the cigarette lighter or the DC plug-in, you can basically turn the accessories on, the ignition, and then using your probe light, finding that, you see how the light comes on? So that there would be our plug-in point. And now when I hold it on there and then turn the ignition off, it turns off. So I'm just going to be splicing my signal wire into that wire there. Now that I've got the positive signal, AV signal and accessory signal wire all run under the dash, it's time to run it along the kick panels out of the way and then plug her in.
Last thing you'll need to wire up is the ground wire. And instead of going all the way back to the battery to wire this up, you can just attach it to the body of the car somewhere.
All right, so all wired up, guys. Most amplifiers will have listed below where you should put the certain cables. Just important to note that you 9 times out of 10 will bridge positive and negative for this sub to work. And then I've just got my signal wire there from the ICC. So the majority of subs that I've wired up in other cars haven't had a fuse, but just to be safe, especially with a 4-wheel drive, I'm just going to be putting this fuse in just to avoid any faults or fires or any melting of plastic. Decided to put the amplifier inside this storage compartment here. It actually fits in there pretty much perfectly. It's nice having it separate to the sub, not actually attached to it, just because if I want to take the sub out, you know, if I've got a lot of stuff going in the back on top of the drawers, and if the sub's going to get in the way, I can just take it out quite easily by just undoing these 2 wires rather than undoing all those wires on the amplifier. And it's perfect just because I can literally just close it off and not even know it's there anymore. So it stays in there, and the speaker wire just fits out there, out of the way.
Guys, check out my channel for all the other build videos on the AD series. There are so many videos available. Comment below any suggestions that you have or ideas that I can do to the AD series in future videos.
So happy with how these speakers have turned out. It is now a 6-speaker stereo system in the AD series plus a subwoofer. So the sound is awesome now. I can go on cruises, long road trips with having some awesome music pumping. Guys, this episode was pretty short. I was expecting, if you watched my last episode, I was expecting the dose pipe to come a little bit quicker for the turbo. It has not come yet. That's why I've just done this little speaker episode in between. But guys, please stay tuned, subscribe. I will be putting the dose pipe on this turbo. So the screamer pipe is not only going to sound awesome, also the dose hopefully is going to sound great. And then I'm going to get this thing on the dyno. Catch you next time, guys.